Hey everybody, today I'm up here at Tuscarora State Park near Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, and we got in here yesterday evening. We're staying in a cabin. They don't have any tent camping here from what I'm told, but I just came down here first thing in the morning to check out this lake. Looks like they have a little beach area with some swimming up the way, and there are quite a few trails within the park, so I'm hoping to get a chance to check out some of those trails while we're here. And also, I found a Bigfoot sighting in the area. It was a couple years ago, but Bigfoot nonetheless. So perhaps while we're up here, we're not far from the Weiser State Forest. In fact, we're in the Weiser State Forest region where we came looking for Bigfoot last year. So perhaps there'll be some kind of a trace up here as we're hiking the trails and looking around. But this is the trail that goes around the lake. And I'm told this is a 7-mile loop. But if we go the other way, I believe the other way, we come down to a dam. There's a boat launch area. And this way heads down to the beach where there's a swimming area, which I'm definitely going to have to check out later on. Now here we have a nice little bench where you can come down in the morning. This is the trail that leads up to the camping loop. You can come down and sit on this little bench and perhaps get a nice view of the lake where there's already some people out fishing. There's someone across the way there in a kayak. So the lake gets visitors pretty early in the morning. Now, this is something interesting. Just a rock sitting on the back of this bench here. Probably put there by somebody, but I don't know. So as we're coming up this trail here, the way I took, it came from the bathrooms. But this looks like more of a trail than what I actually took. And it comes down from these cabins. There's a few cabins here. Nice little camping cabins. They have 2 bunk beds, so they can sleep 4 people. And then we got a few cots on ours. All right, so walking down from the playground here a little bit, there's kind of a hidden gem down here. It's a little picnic grove that you would almost miss if you walked by here too fast. But it's got a nice little grill here and a couple of picnic tables and a nice view of the lake through the trees.
Bathroom?
Let's see what this building is down here along the lake.
It's a boat rental place that was abandoned in 2015.
Oh. That's interesting. No swimming from boat.
All right.
Cramp. Calf cramp.
So, yeah, looks like an old boat rental place. That's for sure. You see anything in there? Look at that. Through the lock. Some cobwebs and stuff. Not a whole lot. Right now, what we're doing is walking down to the beach area. Kind of want to scope it out. They got a swimming area down there, and I'm planning on taking a 7-mile and some change long hike after lunch. And this hike is going to go around the lake. We'll take a look at the map. It's going to include a couple of other trails, but it's basically going to go around the whole lake. And I'm thinking after that hike, I'm going to need a place to cool off. So we want to see what the swimming situation is up here at Tuscarora State Park. All right, so it looks like we're coming down here to the lake and beach area. And it's a little chilly right now, so I'm sure there's probably not a lot of people swimming and such. But this afternoon, perhaps it'll be up in the 80s, and especially after a long hike, this will be the perfect place to come and go for a swim. So heading back to the campsite, got a little look at the lake and the swimming area. I'm looking forward to jumping in later on. But I've noticed that these little picnic groves are kind of scattered throughout the woods. And from this road, there's some stairs you can go up and you can get to them. And some people actually up there enjoying this beautiful weather. It almost has a hint of an early fall in it. But I'm gonna go back, get some lunch, and perhaps embark on this 7+ mile long trek. This is the 7-mile hike right here. So if you look, we're gonna come down here near the day use area. We're gonna go on Lakeview Trail, okay? We're gonna take Lakeview Trail all the way around the lake. And at that point, we're gonna get on the Crow Trail. And we're going to take Crow Trail all the way down where we're going to have to somehow get across, perhaps go down Tuscarora Mountain Drive, and then over to the Spirit of Tuscarora Trail. Now the Spirit of Tuscarora Trail, if we look at it right here, it says that this trail meanders along Tuscarora Lake and Locust Creek and through Decadus Forest, a mature eastern hemlock stand, late successional field, rhododendron thicket, and wetland meadow. Highlights include year-round seasonal wildflowers, a large milkweed patch for monarch butterflies, abundant neotropical songbirds. But this is also more difficult hiking. So 4.5 miles of the trail, once we get through here, right? The Spirit of Tuscarora Trail is going to be more difficult hiking. I'm not sure what more difficult means.
Hopefully, I think it's just under most difficult.
We're going to find out.
Eddar's getting a muscle milk.
Nah. Sure, it's
Eddard, are you going on this hike?
no.
Coming up on the boat launch area here. And you get a kind of a view from the lake of all the boats. Heading up this trail here and up along the lake, and it's kind of a narrow trail. Got some rock walls along the side here. As we're going along here, any comments?
It's not treacherous yet, but if this is not treacherous, I'm curious to see what treacherous is.
Yeah, it's a little, I wouldn't say it's treacherous. Definitely not the easiest hiking trail.
That's all I got to say.
Right, and it says, I think it says somewhat difficult. So we might be amping it up a little more than it actually is, but this part doesn't say somewhat difficult. And it's a little difficult for some people. Not
For us.
No, definitely not. All right, so we're coming through this little valley right here between these rocks. And this is the perfect place for perhaps a Bigfoot to come down. What do we say? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I could see one just like across this field chasing a deer and going up the hill there.
Right. Yeah,
It's a
imagine.
little dry though.
Imagine if you left the camera out here overnight.
Oh,
I bet
yeah.
you'd see something. And plus, it's a perfect access point for something to come right down here to the water. And quite a view of the lake we got from this angle. But coming up here, we got the dam, and I think that's our next step. So here we are at the dam. And go out here, we'll hike across this thing and see what kind of a perspective we can get. We do have quite a mountain on the other side, and I guess if we have to go up that mountain,
Looks like we have to.
we'll have to double check. I think the map does take us crossing the dam here. And if so, that might be a little bit of a hike, depending on how high up that mountain we go, actually.
As we're walking, the bugs are coming out of the grass.
Yeah, we got quite a few of those grasshoppers around here.
Oh yeah.
And look at the, quite a drop over this side as we come down. And there's some paths down there too, so I don't know, we might have to hike down the dam.
Yeah.
If there's no path over here. We're gonna have to stop and look at the map. But here, we're gonna get a view of the lake from, I guess, the longest point here. Yeah, and that's quite a view out there, definitely.
Oh yeah.
So we are right here on the dam, and we're crossing over here right in the middle. So we're about to get on to continue on Lakeview Trail, and that's going to go down. It's going to intersect with Crow Trail. So Crow Trail is the next trail we're looking for. And then you see when Crow Trail comes down here, I don't see any place where it crosses over to Spirit of Tuscarora until Mountain Drive. So we might have to go all the way down to Mountain Drive to cross over to Spirit of Tuscarora, unless we just blindly go through the woods right here at the end of the lake. It might cut off about a mile or two.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's something we could do.
But there's only one way we can get through that.
Yeah.
Need some energy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you got some of the cheeseburger ones there, huh? You know, I picked up some interesting ones myself. Have you had Giants before?
Actually, I have. I was out in North Dakota and I picked them up, and they
Yeah.
got some good flavors.
They do. It's the first time I've had them, and they're half empty, right?
And they're good.
It's honey mustard, so yeah, and they're proudly made in America. All right, so we're hiking down the dam and going down the other side of the lake, which should be quite an adventure because it's a long ways down there before we cross over, as we've only went about a half mile as best we can figure. Oh man, that's a pretty,
Millipede.
That's a millipede.
Oh, look, there's more under here too. So this looks like a millipede nest.
a millipede nest. I don't know, there are some interesting trees through here. I see one that I can't really see the base of that's kind of going across here,
Yeah, me too.
right? So just kind of an area, and it's coming down between some other trees, which is just something to keep an eye on. There's another one there. Any one of these could definitely be some kind of a symbol. Yeah, something that Bigfoot does to maybe signal a doorway, or hey, I've been here. I'm not sure about this tree. Like this is a pretty extensive break right here.
This had to be an axe or something, but that doesn't mean a Bigfoot couldn't create a tool to bring this tree down.
That's true.
But it's clear, you look down on the bottom here in the millipede nest.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
this
definitely
was
something.
This was an axe or some sort of tool. Now I'm curious to peel this bark back.
Yeah, what are you, so what are you expecting to find there?
You know, you never know.
Okay,
There you go.
there we are. And it's more tree behind there, a few millipedes. And you can definitely see right here this straight line where maybe an axe hit. So, yeah, nothing too spectacular there.
No.
But
May or may not.
any thoughts?
It's getting
No
hot.
thoughts, really.
It
Yeah.
is getting
Warm
hot.
out here.
We're almost there though. We went about 0.8 of a mile
1 mile. We're officially at the 1 mile
at
marker.
1 mile. So we only got 6.5 more miles to go.
Oh yeah.
Did I say it was 7 miles? 7.5. So a little bit more
We're
than,
6.5 miles.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
6.5 more to go.
So we're a good 1/7 of the way there.
Yeah. Now there's a little bit of a strategy involved here too, as there's been a lot of reports that like people have been sitting around their campfire playing music and Bigfoot has come out. Now people will comment and they'll say, oh no, Bigfoot doesn't like music, it scares him away. But there have been reports of him coming out of curiosity. And I'm sure playing a band like the Magics that we're kind of playing as we go through here would perhaps lure him out in curiosity, wondering about these fantastic harmonies and wanting to see where it's coming from. Perhaps Bigfoot's a connoisseur of doo-wop music. All right, so we've come to a creek that we got to cross here. And I'm not sure how well this is going to go.
I hear people, it's distracting me, that's why.
Yeah, that can be distracting. Ah, there you go. We made it. Now, right here is the perfect place to look for tracks, of course.
Yeah.
And I see canine tracks. It looks like dog paws right here, right? And this little bit of sand that comes out here is also kind of a safer way to cross than walking across that log, perhaps. All right, everybody made it.
This is a classic song.
Perhaps a water break. All right, so from this part of the trail, you can hear the beach just across the way. A lot of people yelling and music playing, swimming in the water. And only about 6 more miles to go. And then I'll get to partake in that as well, perhaps. All right, what do you think here? Irregular tree break? I don't know.
I don't see obviously it's a knockdown tree. I don't see a break with
Yeah.
like a snap. So you can't really tell with this one. An angry Bigfoot could have pushed it down like we experienced when we were at Big Bass.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell though. Can't tell.
Look at that one. This one's like pushed kind of, maybe, and like just leaning on a branch up there. See, it's like, it's caught on another branch up there. And we got a couple trees down here that are kind of
This is an odd
Kinda
part
leaning.
of the forest.
It is.
Very different.
So it looks like we got another little stream crossing here.
This is a good place to look for tracks, but
Yeah,
I've seen
definitely.
boot prints. That's about it.
Yeah, some people have been walking through here. And kind of going with the theme, we got another tree that's leaning over, pushed over, and coming between these two trees. Not saying it's definitely paranormal, but something to note as a scene along this trail, and potentially something. Looking at where we are, right? Here's the beach swimming area. We can see that right through the trees. We crossed this stream, and then I think this was the second stream we crossed.
and then we came up this way. So we should be looking for Crow Trail pretty soon. I'm not sure if we've made it to this junction yet.
I haven't seen a split.
But we're definitely right in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not much further to go.
Looks like we're right here.
Yeah.
And there's,
So compared to the map, yeah, that's exactly right.
so we haven't got to that split yet, or have we?
I don't think we have yet.
Okay.
Not 100%.
So that should be coming up. Maybe at the opening.
Yeah, I think we're right about here where the word lake is. Another one. It's interesting. This could be a disease. The tree seems kind of messed up. And they clearly came through and painted after this was scraped off. So once again, not saying it's anything paranormal, but just noting it. Ah, what do we got here?
We have a little ribbit.
Oh, okay. No danger noodles, right? Look at that. That's a tiny one.
Ribbit. It doesn't even know how to ribbit yet.
No, he doesn't.
He dropped it.
I don't know where he went.
He just croaked.
Oh, I got it.
There he is. That thing's no bigger than a bug.
Got a good picture of the frog.
Nice.
Oh, there it is.
So we're coming out to a nice little clearing here. And I think this is actually the split. Yeah, so we were right on point with where we were. So if we go this way, we stay along the lake. This way would obviously take us a little further away from the lake. This is the split.
We're going right or left.
I'm thinking we want to go down this way.
Yeah.
Kind of keep us along the lake here.
So we're about a fourth of the way through, and we're in danger of missing dinner, basically. But there's no choice. We got to keep going. There's no point in turning back. So
Yeah, that's true. We've been gone for maybe an hour and a half.
About an hour 15.
Hour and 15, and dinner's not till 7, so we still got 2 hours to finish, and that's including the most treacherous portion of the trail.
Oh yeah.
Are we looking forward to that?
I'm really excited. I want to see how treacherous they think treacherous is.
Oh yeah.
You think it's been any treacherousness so far, or no?
I don't think so. I think the very beginning was a little more treacherous than this part now, where we're just walking straight on a very wide path, but nothing real serious yet.
Yeah. Yeah, the beginning, and once we got down the dam and started going up through the woods, it looked like it could get a little bit iffy. You know, not for us, but for maybe
Inexperienced hikers.
the inexperienced hiker might not take too kindly to that narrow path that kind of goes up the side of the hill there. But right here, I mean, you could bring a mountain bike down this. Earlier, I don't think you'd be able to get a mountain bike up along that part of the trail that we walked up.
Yeah.
So this that we're walking along right here, it's kind of went from a path into a country road. Like it almost looks like a dirt road.
Yeah. See the tire track.
Yeah, and if you look, you know, there's nice fields on the side here and stuff like that are up and grown now, but you can see some trees spaced out, and like some bigger trees kind of up on the side of the road, like this one here. Like it looks like it was growing for longer than this other stuff, so this might have been like a road that went somewhere. Farmland. I don't know. I don't see any remnants of any rock walls or anything like that, like we see at Lackawanna. But we're expecting this little dirt road here to intersect with another road so that we can cut across and get to the other side of the lake. It just, at this point, doesn't exactly seem like things are lining up on the map the way that they should be. But I don't think there's many other directions we could head in.
Other than backward.
Yeah, and once you start, you just can't go back, you know? That's for quitters.
I'm confident in this trail.
Oh yeah, me too.
All right, so we're coming down to the end of Crow Trail here, and we're getting ready to come out to the road and somewhere cut across to get to the other side of the lake, and that's gonna be where the trail gets a little more difficult according to the map. Yeah, so we got quite a overlook here once we come out of the Crow Trail, walking down this gravel road. And hopefully there's gonna be a way to cross over here pretty soon. If not, we're in the wrong place. All right, so here we are coming out on the Tuscarora Mountain Drive. And down the way here, I can see the bridge where it looks like it crosses over the lake. And then we should see a trail just over there. So, go, quite a hill here.
It'd be crazy to skateboard down or something like that, you know.
Yeah, that would be pretty intense. All right, crossing over Locust Creek. Can barely see it down there, but I guess this is the creek that feeds the lake. So right over here over the guardrail, I think this must be the trail. It looks pretty legit. Yeah, it was pretty much right over the bridge. Let's take another look at the map right here. Perhaps we'll stop. Let's do a map check. So looking right here, we came down, we crossed Locust Creek, and yeah, this has got to be it right here. And then we're going to want to make sure we stay to the right, because when we stay to the right of this trail, it's going to keep us along the water. And that's where we're going to want to go. And this is where it gets tough. It says right here, to quote, listen to how serious this sounds, the spirit of Tuscarora Trail. 4.5 miles, red, white, yellow blazes, more difficult hiking.
I mean, we just listened to the Funky Cole Medina, so we're pumped.
Oh
It's gonna be pretty intense.
Ready.
It's gonna be a good time. Got some thick, I guess, pines, white pines perhaps, as we're coming through here. I don't know, if not Bigfoot country, it's at least black bear country, rattlesnake country, a couple of other predators that we might encounter up here. I'm pretty sure we even saw some bobcats wandering around last night by the campsite.
I don't know, those bobcats, they're a little worrisome, but they're pretty small compared to like your average mountain lion, so they're not too much to worry about, you know.
I think with the bears and the rattlesnakes out, I think a bobcat's the least of our worries.
All right, looks like we're crossing our first little stream here. Coming up the hill, nothing too treacherous yet. I wouldn't say very difficult, but we're still in the early miles of this trail.
Very difficult. She just suffered a dire
A little
tumble.
Oh, a devastating fall, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, maybe somewhat difficult, but I don't know if it is compared to what we were on earlier yet. The other side seemed a little more advanced. It does. Yeah, and we're coming up, I've noticed a lot of these pine trees kind of growing throughout here. They mentioned in the history that I was reading about this place that there used to be a lot of American chestnut trees growing up in this area. And this is something that there's no longer. They no longer have them in the Appalachians. And I can hear the babble of the creek down below, which is kind of nice. It's definitely a nice walk through the woods. Something hopping around in there. Bird, perhaps. Here's kind of a neat vantage point. It is quite a drop off, huh?
That's what they mean by challenging.
I mean, nothing that would kill you, I don't think, unless you maybe went head first. But you can get a nice vantage point of the stream. If I was going to place a trail cam, I think I'd put it here. I don't know. It's a good place because you can see the water where anything might come to get a drink or to feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm gonna venture down the hill here just a little bit. I think we got a nice place where we can see the stream. Perhaps look for any tracks that may be down along here.
It is dark down here, man.
It is. Like once you get out of the sunlight, it's heavily shaded.
This would be Bigfoot territory.
Definitely.
I mean, I'd sleep here.
I would too. And I wonder how many people hike this side of the trail. You know, how many people come down this far? Because this is a place where you don't hear the sound of the people swimming. You don't hear the sound of the beach. It's cooler on a hot summer day. Slightly more secluded. You got a lot of concealment because of the dense woods that are down here. And a perfect place to take a bath if Bigfoot does that.
Which I don't think they do because they smell pretty bad.
That's
if you've
true.
Ever smelled Bigfoot?
Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical on the bath thing.
But if they were to, some are probably clean.
Yeah, they at least need a drink, you know, and this would be the drinking water right here. What do we got?
So this looks to be deer, right here.
Oh yeah, I see them.
There.
Yeah, so muddy banks like this,
It's a good spot.
ideal.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got some man-made blocks here, and it looks like they made a little spring, or they kind of closed in the area of the spring, you know, where you could come and maybe fill up water or something like that way back in the day. The spring trickles along the path down into the woods.
Nice mossy trail here.
Yeah, this is definitely, I'll say since we've come over this side,
It was fun.
it's definitely felt like Bigfoot country. This is neat. It's like an old picnic table.
Yep.
Covered in moss. Nice little place for picnic. Guests are fishing, you know.
Maybe you could pitch a tent. Keep that moss off of it.
Yeah, if they allowed walk in here, you could pitch a tent right over here.
Yeah,
And,
do it. Why not?
yeah, this would be a good place to camp. Right near the stream. You could fish, catch the fish,
Yeah.
roll them up right here, and then eat them on this nice little picnic table.
Yeah, it's even got a tablecloth on it.
Oh yeah, that stuff like that's kind of like filter right there. You know,
Oh,
if
yeah.
water comes through that, comes through the moss, it filters it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure it kind of filters like any germs that might be on the table or something like that.
Definitely.
We like run into like one person on like the trail.
Yeah, we did. I'm seeing red trail markers now.
Aren't they red, white, and blue?
Oh yeah, here's where it splits.
Yep. So we just stick to the right here, because the left will take us way up that hill, which looks kind of like a neat trek.
Yeah, it looks treacherous. So is this the far end of the lake?
Yeah, this is down. So this is the stream that feeds the dam, or that feeds the lake.
Right.
We got some neat little crosswalks over here.
Like I'm in a jungle.
I mean, I was promised treacherous. It's not the word I would use. I think I'd like to swim in that.
It would be a nice place to kind of take a dip, wouldn't it?
No doubt about it. I mean, that looks like deep enough too. And I would, as I'm in my bathing suit right now, but I don't know if I want to walk back all wet, you know?
That's the problem, yeah. You know,
So-
walking back wet, you kind of get uncomfortable.
Should I put my bathing suit on under this?
Should have. Because it's almost deep enough. I mean, really. Might be. I don't know how deep it is. But it always seems to look more shallow than it is just because the way water works.
Yeah,
That might
that's
be.
right. Perfect swimming hole.
Yeah.
This is definitely a nice trail over here, and it's pretty peaceful.
There you go.
I see what looks like some man-made wood there.
Yeah, that's right.
Some dog prints. Another good place to look for tracks, but nothing apparent.
I don't exactly know.
Definitely somewhat difficult.
All right, the somewhat difficult part has
I'm too
come.
for this.
Somehow we're gonna get through here. I don't know exactly how. I think I'm gonna go under it.
That might be the smart route.
Yeah, that's definitely the somewhat difficult part. Not too intense. Kind of neat to have to maneuver around some things every once in a while. Feels a little more adventurous, I suppose.
Here's the somewhat dangerous part.
I like how close it stays to the stream though.
Oh yeah, that's nice. In case you get thirsty too.
We're at about 4 miles.
Okay.
It's been 2 hours. Doesn't really feel that bad.
That's not bad.
Not really like I could go. I could keep going.
Yeah, that's good because I think we're gonna have to for another 3.5 miles.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Like it's not a tiring trail is what I'm getting at.
right, it's not. It's one that is, you know, you could walk all day kind of.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I brought more water.
Yeah.
But they have these filtration systems you can get.
Like
And-
the straws.
Yeah, and allegedly you can fill up a water bottle with water from like this stream right here, and you can drink it. Filter out all the brain-eating amoebas and everything crazy like that. We tried one. It was kind of a bag that you had to fill up, like a pouch that you had to fill up. It was not easy to fill up. Is that a danger noodle? What is that out there? It looks like maybe just a branch sticking up, huh?
Now I see what could have been an old track here. If you see, this is my hand. This is about the size of the foot we're working with, if you can see the heel to the toe, as compared to my hand. Now this wouldn't be huge, it's not a ton bigger than my boot, but the width of it looks to be about here. You can see kind of what would be a big toe. Could be a human foot.
That comes down to here, right? That's kind of
Yeah, and it's not
big.
easy to see, but, and it's nothing certain, but it is, you know, potential.
Yeah, definitely a good catch there, because something like that is very easy to pass over. So you got to really look for any kind of irregularities. There's certain things that stand out amongst the rest of the land, the rest of the path. And it's those irregularities that you want to keep an eye out for.
So this looks like it could be a right foot with as compared to my shoe. The width is much bigger, with this being the end. The toes up here, the big toe right here, would have been older, as it would have maybe covered up on the way. But you can see, again, the outline, let me just draw it for you, right here, around this way.
So potentially something there.
Yeah.
A little... Smell like Bigfoot?
Yeah.
So coming along the trail here, you want to watch out for stuff like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why. This one I don't think is a rope. I think it's actually
Metal?
yeah, metal. What do they call those things? It is. It's metal, like a, can't think of the name of it, but you know, they use them for like holding up power lines and stuff like that, or cables. It's a cable. That's what I was looking for. But there are allegedly, and I'm not saying they're out here in these parts, but have you ever heard of the feral people?
Sounds familiar. I don't know if I'm too familiar with that though.
So apparently out in the Appalachian Mountains, there's been quite a few sightings of feral people. And there's different theories about these people, of how they got there. But basically, years ago, some say back as far as the 1800s, they escaped out to the Appalachian Mountains and just started living out there.
Yeah.
And they came up with they eventually developed cannibalistic tendencies. So they'll set booby traps and stuff for people. Yeah, and they'll capture hikers and allegedly eat them. So anytime you're walking along and see something irregular like that, ever since I heard about these people, and there's been like multiple sightings of them, safe to say more than Bigfoot, at least in the area where they've been seen around the Appalachians. And I'm not saying they extend this far. I think it's more down south. But I would definitely, like, I'd rather encounter anything almost than feral people that are trying to capture me in some cage, or some little noose comes around my foot and snaps me up into a tree, and then I'm dangling there while they come out with their knives and forks and, you know, poke me with their spears and stuff like that. I'm not having that.
No, I mean, it's like wrong turn. And there have been several reports, whether it be, you know, these alleged feral people or just people up in the Appalachians that kill people, and people disappear hiking the Appalachian Trail often. So I wouldn't recommend doing it without a weapon, but who knows like what's up there and who's up there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And unfortunately, this is one place I can't carry, so I don't have my gun with me, which is a little unsettling. I should have at least brought a knife, probably. You know, that way at least you can cut out of the net. If you're up there, I picture it kind of being like the Ewoks. You know, when they captured, who was it that they got, like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo,
Yeah.
Chewbacca. They get them up in those little nets.
Of course.
Be handy to have a knife at that point. But here we are, a nice little bridge, crossing over the stream. And this is a nice little stream. It goes down under the mountain laurel. Kind of disappears into the woods there. So over here, we can see what looks like a dried up creek bed that comes down through the woods and used to run into that stream that's still active. But what I noticed over here are some perhaps mussel shells. Now, where would anything get mussels in a freshwater stream? That's what these are. I'm not an expert on shellfish. I know what clams look like, and mussels and oysters, and these look closest to mussels to me, but maybe not exactly. Maybe scallops. I don't know. But it's weird just seeing these. I can't say that I've ever, hiking up in the mountains, have seen remnants of shellfish laying along the trail. Now maybe there are some kind of freshwater shellfish I don't know about. I'm just saying I've never observed something like that up in the mountains. I'm not saying it's paranormal by any means. It's just questionable. Where did it come from? Do those kind of animals come from a freshwater stream? And if so, what would take it out and perhaps eat it right there along the path? So we're coming through this little tunnel of mountain laurel, which is pretty cool.
And now, is mountain laurel the Pennsylvania state flower?
It is. I believe it is. And it's very prevalent in these parts, all up in the Appalachians. Glenanoco, I remember seeing a lot down there, which isn't too far from here, Glenanoco Falls, which is too bad they closed down.
That would have been a good hike.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious hike. But we got turned around for a minute and back on the track here. Coming up through a little clearing. All right, what do we got here?
Looks
like some
looks like
scat.
some yeah.
Oh,
Fresh
man.
droppings. They look pretty fresh.
That's too big to be anything but a bear, I think.
Is that corn? Am I seeing corn in here?
Maybe.
I mean, I'm definitely seeing what looks like corn, but yeah, that's gotta be a bear. I mean, Bigfoot.
Maybe.
Maybe you see any big footprints around or anything like that that could indicate that maybe he stopped here. And
Bigfoot eats a lot more meat though. That looks like a vegetarian diet.
it does kind of look like a vegetarian diet.
I want to say bear.
Yeah, so, but definitely we're gonna take a picture of this and maybe take a sample of it in a bag and see if we can get it verified for sure. All right, so we're coming up along the trail here where we're starting to see the lake again. And down there through the trees, we can see it. Looks like some cool, refreshing water. And the trail just kind of snakes along the side of the mountain here. Continuing on, another mile closer to a nice, cool swim in that lake. As I'm walking along here, seeing fairly fresh bear droppings, I'm wondering if honey mustard was a good choice, because I'm carrying this in my pocket and I hear tell that bears love honey. At least Winnie the Pooh does, and I'm pretty sure that's based on reality. I don't know, but if they do love honey, I got these honey mustard sunflower seeds in my pocket, I might have a little bit of an issue, especially if a bear comes running down this hill.
So, you know, I decided to swing on a vine down the mountain here. Just an easier way to get down. You know, figured, you know, these vines are real sturdy. So, they're for swinging. And I just wanted to make sure I didn't get hurt on the way down.
Yeah, it's always good to grab some vines when you're coming down the hill and stuff like that.
Definitely. So I might swing a second time too.
Yeah, and that may not be sound advice, but you know, it's just kind of a way of doing things. Oh yeah, there we go.
That was a good swing.
So we see some cars through the trees here, and we come out to a parking lot. I think we're at the day use area. This is the swimming area, and there's the trailhead for the Spirit of Tuscarora Trail, a trail that we just hiked. And even though it's somewhat difficult, we made it. And it was created by Dennis Pap Knaus in 1989.
Pat, yeah.
So I think we've reached about the end of this trail. What are our thoughts as we made this trek? A few turns and twists in there, and
Yeah, it was good. I
I
mean,
think it was a nice hike with the little creek. Walking past that was really nice.
once we saw the bear scat, you know, that's when it got interesting too. I mean, then we were in survival mode, essentially.
I like how you put the pause between bear and scat. Like when we go back, we should tell people, hey, we saw a bear
Yeah,
scat.
yeah, we did see bear, you know, scat when we were out there. So now we found our way back. I don't know if we're gonna go down the road.
Gonna
or
go
across
visit the
lot.
beach. We'll go down that way.
Yeah, we're gonna be definitely taking a swim at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm ready.
Yeah, what are
I'm
your
ready
thoughts on that
too.
trail there, though, huh?
That trail, I think the somewhat difficulty suits it decently well, but at the same time, the last part of the hike just wasn't as hard as the beginning of the hike, I'd say.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. It didn't seem as long coming up this side as it seemed
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
down the other side.
And now I will say my critique of the trail, usually if I'm gonna hike that long, I wanna get a view out of it too.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, it's a loop, so it brings you back to where you started, so.
Yeah, some interesting things as we went along there, but no definite signs of Bigfoot by any means. We did do a couple of whoops and hollers along the way.
And human alerts?
Human alerts, yeah. And I would think that the human alert might make them kind of dip back, you know, duck back into the woods. But it's something worth trying. Maybe human alert means, hey, like, rally up because there's humans. We need to go down there. We need to beat them up and run off into the woods. Kind of like
how
that guy
aggressive.
under the bridge.
Yeah, yeah. Rather
McDade.
got a bruise.
Yeah, and what we're referring to is at McDade Park.
Yep.
And this was a previous video.
Our last excursion.
Yeah, this guy, he was in McDade Park and Bigfoot came running out from under this bridge like a thug, punked him out, and then ran back under the bridge. And the guy was left with a bruise as a reminder of that day at the park.
That is the gist.